connect. Talking the talk with Kate and Jim, and walking the walk, just listening. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim, I'm gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim, I'm gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like let you stop rubbing, or she's flip-flopping. Hell, this place is popping. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim, I'm gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Jimbo always keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like let me stop rubbing, or she's flip-flopping. Hell, this place is popping. Perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim are gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Jim always keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue and let you stop rubbing, or she's flip-flopping. Hell, this place is popping. Always keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like let me stop rubbing, or she's flip-flopping. Hell, this place is popping.
Welcome back to the perfect match. Jimbo always keeps a positive spin, and I think we definitely need that positive spin today after a weekend that was pretty damn crap, to be fair. But as always on a Monday, I am joined by, well, every day I'm joined by my partner in crime, Jimbo, and of course the legend, the youngest looking older man, because it was his birthday on Friday, Mr. Chang. Jimbo, first of all, how are you feeling?
Yeah, all right. It's next day.
Calm.
Yeah, always. I was a bit paid off yesterday, not so much with the game, but with comments people make. That's what gets me down is the
reactionary fans.
The reactionary fans, yeah. It's the next day. I like to sleep on it and wake up the next day and see where we are. Yeah, I'm all right.
Good. Like to hear it. And Mr. Chang, lovely to see you. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me back on. Of course, much like Friday.
Chang. You don't have to thank us for having you back on. You're part of the channel.
Yes,
and that means the whole world to me. That really means the world to me, and especially on a Monday, so soon after what was shaping up to be a very promising Sunday. Unfortunately, it all came to nothing, but onwards and upwards. I mean, after everything that happened yesterday, and I'm sure we will get into it, but the bottom line is that it was just one game, one loss, and yet again, this is for the umpteenth time now, for the umpteenth time this season. Whenever we lose, we just lose by that one goal margin. There's something about it. I just can't quite put my finger on it, despite the penalties, despite the missed chances we've had. Whatever it is, it's just another game, another league game. We still have Rangers to look forward to, which we might preview in a bit, but much to discuss, much to get into. Without further ado, back to you, Miss Kate.
Yes, indeed. It is only one loss. I thought my 5-2 was looking rather likely at one point, but Sonny nicked that late goal to make it 4-3. A painful watch, in my opinion. But let's have a look who's in the chat before we crack on. We've got Shemtan Says, good morning, Princess Casey, Jimbo. Hope you're both well today. Well, so glad didn't get to watch that disaster show yesterday. Started watching the last 15 minutes of the first half and saw the writing on the wall. Knew it would get worse, so shut the phone off. Mum asked me what's wrong. Told her if I keep watching, I'll get thrown out of the hospital for bad language. Big up Shem. Big up Kate and Jimbo and the Tottenham crew, and indeed the Tottenham Gooners, who couldn't beat Fulham, the team that we got mocked for drawing against. Just saying. Big up my homies, I assume. Big up Leo. Good to see you, my love. Afternoon, Lynn. I hope you had a lovely birthday on Friday. Good to see you. Matt, we agree. This weekend was a load of shit. We completely agree. Robbie's in the house. Lily White Lane, big up Robbie. Hope you're well. Angus says, afternoon all, how we doing? Are you doing a preview for your game on Thursday? If so, I can come on and tell you what Rangers players to watch out for. I'm not sure yet. Do you know what? We have got so much going on. I don't know. All I know is Wednesday I am going to do a mental health show because it's the last chance I'm going to get before Christmas to do one. So that is definitely booked in. Designed to win. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Sorry, Yusuf, they let us all down. But most of all, they let themselves down. Big up, Fiona. Lovely to see you. Paul Jesus says, afternoon all from a glum North London office. Boo.
You're right, Paul.
Says, I know you lost yesterday, but Caicedo should have seen a red and it could have been a different game because Maresca would have had to change around his team. Look, I think that's right. And I think, although I think Kulu should have had a red as well, that challenge might not have happened had Caicedo have gone off. I mean, Chang, did you think that Caicedo foul was a red card?
On closer inspection, from the playback, it looked high. And yes, the stats were showing. And I think it was maybe a lack of reaction from Pepe Matassar that Caicedo was able to get away with it. But I mean, if you were to compare that to, say, the Fulham, was it the Fulham red card? Yeah, the Fulham red card from last weekend. I think the challenge wasn't too dissimilar. The only thing is that maybe the contact, the time of contact, or rather the duration that the contact was actually made was a lot less compared to when Kulusevski got his calf trod upon. So maybe, just maybe, that's why VAR didn't have a extensive look into it. But we've seen red cards given for less, and that's what really riles me up. How often have we to keep going back to the inconsistency in which the red card rules or the penalty rules or any other rule for that matter, even the offside rule, is governed? Again, this brings to mind, or rather this raises more questions about VAR when helps us get on side with it. But that's part and parcel of the game. We've had calls for us, we've had calls against us. Unfortunately for us, this time around, it's not to be. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse, honestly, because when you're 2-0 up, we shouldn't be looking forward to things like this to try and defend the way we were inept at defending. I'm sure we'll get into that later. But yeah, bottom line I have to say is that sometimes it's given, sometimes it's not. Unfortunately for us, it wasn't given, but to the letter of the law, when you have the starts up and you make that kind of contact at that crucial juncture of the game, that should have more than a yellow. It should have been a sending off. Yep.
I mean, Jimbo, we saw it last year. Romero got sent off for pretty much the same thing. And yet, nothing.
Look, okay, I think they were both red cards, right, in my opinion. But what I'm going to say is if it had been sent off, probably the Kulu one wouldn't have happened because they'd have been set up completely different. And it probably that phase of play probably wouldn't have happened. So, but look, I mean, they didn't. Well, yeah, they didn't send him off, right? And then Kulu did the elbow; he could have got sent off. So it's like swings and roundabouts. But at the end of the day, you can't rely on sending off to win games when you're 2-0 up. So for me, sending off or not sending off, 2-0 up, it's not the issue. If he gets sent off or not.
Some breaking news has just come through that David Moyes looks set to possibly be returning to West Ham, as Lopetegui looks like he could be getting the sack. So hardly a surprise. I don't know why they outed him in the first place, but Good morning to the youngest looking old man, Mr. Jimmy Chang, a year older and wiser, and now looks like a 14-year-old.
Jimmy Chang.
Afternoon, Mario says, morning, you three great people. I'm done with all this. We're starting to get embarrassed every week now. Ange out, get a proper manager in. # Levy out. Afternoon to Ed M. Good to see you. Ian Meth says the problem is not the coach, although I accept he is culpable in some respects. Did he tell Biss and Sarr to make such ridiculous challenges? But the buck always stops at the top. And how many coaches does Levy get to a point? Yeah, exactly. One loss too many, says Paul Pablo. Yet another loss, says Fiona. Chang, it's not just one loss, it's one win in 7 and God knows how many defeats in 18 months. But sure, it's not pretty reading. Can't keep going on like this. This man is inept. Look, we're going to that. Let me get through who's here, but we will go into it. Big up Johnny Bethnal Green. Don't forget to go over and sub to Johnny's new channel, Save Our Spurs. He says, having a mare day, been bailing water out my classic VW Gold in the cold. Oh no, that's not good. I know you need a manager who's more adaptable. However, unless Levy changes or sells, exactly, nothing changes. Paddy, big up Paddy, says, morning folks, not one single fan can be positive about the form of this team. It's effing deplorable and doesn't look like changing. Did anyone see Sky Sports? Even Jamie Carragher is Levy out now. Yeah, he is, and rightly so. Need more people on telly to be vocal about it, I believe. Kate, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but honestly, see a Conte-esque sacking this weekend. You play Southampton away, same game Conte got sacked after. It's not about being the bearer of bad news. Whatever will be, and all that. Yeah, Palmer is one of the best players in the world on form at the minute, in my opinion. So he dunked on us, and I think he dunked on most teams at the minute. They're talking of each other. Lynn says, I know we played rubbish, and then when Spurs scored twice, I thought you were going to help Arsenal. Yeah. Alas, Angus, I think Levy will wait for the Southampton game. Nick Brown says, come back, Mason, all is forgiven. No, God. Erwin, big up to you, my love, says, proper manager who? Ange in. Where is that in Ange we trust fans gone? What about giving him time to rebuild? Absolute nonsense getting rid of another manager. Levy out. See, this is what I like to see both sides of the coin. Red card's not the issue. Yep. I was just talking about it. No one was blaming the red card. We were just literally talking about it. Calm down. Come on, Kate. How many times are you going to bottle a 2-0 lead? Well, it was the 11th time Tottenham have bottled a lead of 2 goals or more. But that isn't down to Ange Postecoglou. I'm sorry. That is down to a club mentality issue. Does not matter who the coach is. It's a club issue. I don't know who that is. A big green van with a ladder on the top just parked outside our house, Jimbo. Maybe it's the window cleaner. Angus, I don't think we'll see KT play. Oh, you're talking about Arsenal. Boo. Big up Ian Barron says, hi everyone watching. Hope you're well and had a great wet, windy weather. Happy belated 21st birthday wishes for last week, Mr. Chang. This challenge happened last week. The same players, no yellow. The same this weekend. Anthony Taylor will give a red to some clubs and not to others. Yeah. Biddy says, Ange out, Kate in. Look, I'll take the job and I won't charge anywhere near 9 million. But I'll sort them right out. Don't you worry about that. There'll be some arses getting kicked, let me tell you. Johnny says, in Ange we trust. Levy needs to put his hands in his pockets. Think Ange has done well considering the half-hearted squad he's had to deal with. Big up, Johnny. Tired of this Ange BS, Ange out. It's a very, 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 what's the word? Even, I listened to Talk Sport this morning. As many people that rung up and said Ange out, there was as many people ringing up saying Ange in, which is quite crazy, really. If you're Ange out, then you're Levy in, says Johnny. The issue is Postecoglou is spending 400 million and not improving the first team. Again, we'll get onto that. I agree, Jimbo. You could be 4-0 up and we have seen it happen. It's a game changer. Oh, yeah, the Ange out, Kate in again. I like this hashtag. I think we should make this a worldwide hashtag. Kate, I knew exactly what was going to happen when you signed Ange. I warned you what was going to happen. I don't remember you telling me anything about Ange, so you'd have to refresh my memory, Angus. You also told me that Arsenal was signing Mbappe, so come on. Let's not get our panties in a bunch. It's still a long way to go in the season. We're still in the cups. Exactly. I completely agree with that. Right, I'll come back to that. Big up Thomasin. Big up James Bond. Hope you're well. Arsenal final made the thumbnail. Yes, Arteta was there looking not happy, not sad, just somewhere in the middle. Big up Jose, one of the most level-headed Spurs fans. I asked myself the question yesterday, whose decision was it to carry on attacking after we went 2-0 up? Was it Levy? Was it Ange? Was it the players? We were so open that we gave them the chances. Well, I would think it's probably Ange, but if I was the manager, Spurs would have lost 7-0. Big up Yogi. I mean, look, as Phil P very wisely said, the team in second beat the team in 10th, and they always beat them. If it was anyone other than this whole situation with Ange, we would all be going, well, this is what always happens. But all of a sudden now, it's all on Ange. It's not like we've got a history of beating Chelsea. We never bloody beat Chelsea. At 2-0 up, you shore it up and not go gung-ho. That's where Ange is to blame. Doesn't adapt, sticks to the same tactics. Jim, have you got something to say on that? Because we did have that discussion last night.
I mean, Phil rang me last night, Phil P, and he said that the team in second beat the team in 10th, which the team that we never beat, which is so true. But I don't think they went gung-ho. I thought they all come back in defence and was defending, but they didn't defend well, did they? They give 2 penalties away. I mean, they let Sancho have a free shot on goal. They should be throwing themselves in front of the ball. It's a lot to do with the defenders as well. In my opinion, that they're not defending well. They obviously need more training on the training ground, or they're not good enough. Because
speak to the devil.
All right, Phil. Thanks for the phone call, mate. They're not defending well, are they? They left a gap for him to shoot. There was 3 defenders there. They should all be throwing themselves at the ball, when he shoots. And to give 2 stupid penalties away. I mean, we've seen Basuma do this before, lose the ball in midfield, right? Run back to try and get it back to make up for his mistake and give a penalty away. It's not the first time he's done it, have a bit of composure and brains about what you're doing. It's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Sarr giving a penalty away. I mean, we've gifted them 2 goals. Might as well just give them a 2-0 lead. I mean, you can't blame all that on Ange. Look, I'm not saying Ange isn't to blame for some of it, right? But you can't blame stuff like that on Ange. That's the players being stupid and not being composed and not thinking, giving the ball away time and time again.
Cozy says, big up Jimbo, Kate and Chang. Try playing with half a healthy team and then going against a £1.5 billion team with 2 strong 11s and spare. Ange has given us identity. We need to stick with it till the end of the season. Look, I'm going to get pelted for this, because people, hang on, Jim, people have got into meltdown already about Ange. I still say give him till the end of the season. We're still in all 3 cups, and I personally would rather watch Ange ball than Ryan Mason again, who's never done anything for this club. So me personally, I don't care if I get slated for it. I personally would stick with Ange till the end of the season.
It's not. That's not being ridiculous, right? You got to use a bit of common sense here, right? If you sack Ange now, right, they're going to stick Ryan Mason in charge, right? We know where that went. We was 4th when he took over. We ended up 8th and lost the cup final, right? Just stick with Ange till the end of the season. If it's not gone well at the end of the season, they've got the summer to sort out bringing the manager in. If they sack him now, it's going to be a desperation appointment. It's not going to be one where they've sit back, unless over the last month they've sat back and worked it out who they want to get in, and they're going to pay compensation to someone, or they've someone who's out of work. That's a decent manager they're going to bring in. You can't make an appointment, right? A rash appointment. We did that before with Nuno, who I personally, right, I like Nuno, and I said to Kate when they sacked him, they never give him long enough, You know, he was in the door and out the door. You know, but that you got to use a bit of common sense. It's no point in sacking him and putting Mason in charge and then desperately looking for a manager. You know, they've got time now. If it doesn't, we won't get relegated, right? If it doesn't go well over the next few months, they've got time to work out who they want and who's going to fit our club. You know, for me to sack him and just put Mason in charge is ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean, Chang, how do you feel about that? Are you still giving to the end of the season, or do you think we need to change now?
We should stick with Ange to the end of the season. I think it's a no-brainer because no manager in their right mind will want to join at this moment in time, halfway through the season. And what's even worse is that pretty much all the prospective managers or even managers of any sort of caliber that can even keep us on par with what Big Ange is doing has already been snapped up. I mean, maybe Amorim was that last one. We might have missed the boat. So maybe this time around, when we beat United 3-0 at Old Trafford, you could say that probably United won El Sacico, although their home defeat to Nottingham Forest isn't helping them. And I think they themselves have lost that new manager bounce. But for me, Big Ange has to stay to the end of the season. I've lost count now. Honestly, Miss Kate, I've lost count the number of times on this show itself where I've countlessly reiterated myself, Big Ange needs to stay for the quarterfinals against United. It's just that simple. Let's see where the quarterfinals takes us. Let's see where the away game, oh no, it's not away, it's at home. The home game against Liverpool takes us before the end of the year. And, we still have Tamworth to look forward to. In the FA Cup. We still have the likes of Hoffenheim, Rangers, and possibly maybe even the knockout stages of the Europa League. That still is a possibility. All I will say is now, if Big Ange is to remain at the helm though, Levy, Johan Lang, the entire board cannot afford to overlook this coming January transfer window. That I think is the only thing, the only saving grace. Even if Big Ange does walk, the only saving grace this board has right now is to try and make up for that lackluster summer and do something. Maybe even prepare for the next manager for all I know. But come whatever may, Big Ange has to stay with us to the end of the season. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw the other day Johnny. What's his name? The one who goes to the games, does the fan cam.
Johnny Hamme.
Yeah, he put something in one of the groups that I'm in of the players that Paratici bought and the players that Lange has bought.
Yeah, I put that up last show. The last show.
And Lange is not. He's not good enough.
No, nowhere near.
Yeah, Paratici is like leagues above him in bringing players in. But look, it's all right. People screaming, right? And I don't understand it. People want him sacked. I can understand why. I'm not sitting here like deluded, thinking he's the best manager in the world, right? He's making mistakes, but it's all right screaming you want Ange out, right? And you want a new manager in, but you've got to have a plan in place. If there's not a plan in place, there's no point in doing it. If Levy's got a plan in place, but we know what Levy's like. He makes rash appointments, because he's getting some stick. But look, Levy for me now, he's shown that he's not capable of running a football club. He's capable of running a business and making a business, but as for a football club, he's nowhere near capable of running a football club, because we are a football club. We're not where we want to be a business and a football club. Every club wants that, but you've got to balance the two right. And Levy's not doing that. He's balancing the business and making a lot of money, but he's neglecting the football side of it.
Mm. Yeah. From what I'm hearing, Van der Ven isn't injured. He was just felt a bit of tightness. But Romero, I don't know.
He had cramp, and he said he always intended to bring him off around about the time he come off. He's all right.
This is another thing. It doesn't matter who you want at Spurs. Who's going to come to Spurs at this? Not only at this time, but at any time. This job is really fast becoming a poison chalice because working with Levy is just so difficult. But in the middle
it's like
of the
Everton
season,
job now, Kate. It's the same as the Everton. Tottenham are on par with Everton for the not as a football team. We're better than them, right? But as a job, taking the job as the manager. If you go to Everton, it's a poison chalice for me. If you come to Tottenham, it's a poison chalice. You know, until Levy, like, I mean, let's be honest. Levy hung himself with I would say 90% of the fan base when he didn't back Poch. Poch built a team that was challenging on every front: Champions League, Cups, Premier League, and then it was 50 odd days, like 3 windows. You never backed him, so he kind of killed himself there. So for me, I'm 1,000,000%. I said last season, I'll let you know after last season, I'm 1,000,000%. Levy should just get out of our fucking club because he's ruining it as a football team.
But he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Let's be fair. Yeah, agreed. Well done, Mark CFC.
Well done, Mark.
I mean, Chelsea look incredible.
I like you, Mark. So good luck to you.
I know Maresca's playing it down that you're not in a title race, but you definitely are. Nick says the damage is done, so I'd keep Ange to the end of the season. We're not winning any cups this season. Well, you never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Spud says, I don't get it. Our season's not over yet. Why would you want to throw it away? Yep. Exactly that. You can't keep a manager just because Mason might come in. We're going backwards after 18 months and spent loads of money. No, Thursday's definitely not going to be easy. Going to the Ibrox, the atmosphere is going to be so volatile and it'll be like going to Galatasaray away. So no, definitely not going to be an easy game. Ange needs to beat Rangers, Southampton and Man U, or it could be all C road. Yeah, I do agree. Cozy says, hi Chang, I'm not sure Amorim will survive Man U as he already comes from a lesser league with only 2 teams to compete with, i.e. Benfica and Porto. Some fans already are giving him stick about his subs. Yeah, I mean, Man United dropped points again, lost against Crystal Palace, was it? No, it wasn't Palace, that was City. It was against Forest at Old Trafford. That's how I view it. Don't panic. If a change has to be made, the landscape of managers available will be more clear and we've got to make the right appointment. I mean, I personally think at the end of this season, Eddie Howe's going to get sacked from Newcastle. And I think Eddie Howe would be a good manager to come in for Ange Postecoglou. But midway through the season, I'm just not advocating for him to go. And I don't think he will go yet. I think he will get the end of the season. Big up Raymond says, change your manager and your team will be worse next year. Too many chops and changes. Yep, I hear you. If Levy backs Ange in January and buys players and Ange won't be going anywhere. Levy out, exactly. Completely agree. You're not beating Rangers. Your players will be too scared. It will be hostile and electric.
Levy just some waffle.
I know. Levy is the disease. Agreed. Angus is the same guy who said there's absolutely no way we're going to beat all sorts of teams that we've beaten. So, you know. Lange gets off with no criticism and he would be the one bringing in the new manager. Exactly. That's another thing. We're criticising Lange's appointments and he'd be in charge of who we bring in next, which is worrying in itself. I mean, Dan Ashworth's just been sacked from Manchester United. I wish we'd be savage and sack Johan Lang because he's clearly not good enough. Stands out a mile, he's not good enough. Question, bring back the dong. # prison break. I've never seen that, so I don't know what that means.
No, he's talking about breaking him out of prison because he got arrested.
Oh, Don Paratici.
Yeah.
Bloody hell,
Wake up, darling.
Do you know what it is, right? This is the gospel truth. I'm in so much pain today. I feel like I've got a trapped nerve in my shoulder following on from my physio. And it's just, I've put loads of ibuprofen gel on it and I've took loads of painkillers and I just feel a little bit out of it because of the pain. But yeah, of course, Don Paratici. Fiona says, the only thing that worries me is if Levy has already decided to replace Ange, will he buy any players in January? Don't know. His little face yesterday on the screen, Daniel Levy. Oh, I'd like to punch him straight in the face with a chair. Have we improved with Ange? I don't think we've spent an 18 months. I don't think we have, and we've spent loads. It's been 18 months. Go on, Chang.
That question, if you can just put up that question again, I think that question actually is closely tied, or is very, I would say it's integral to our recruitment. And if you look at our recruitment, especially the last transfer window, how we've stagnated, maybe Solanke is the only one that really matters. I mean, if you look at Odobie is a complete waste of money. I would say even the likes of Archie Gray has been a complete waste as well. And the other players, the Yang Min Hyuks and whoever else we got who we sent out on loan, they are not helping the squad. So we are pretty much where we started off from last season. Maybe Solanke is the only one that is of any note. Probably also maybe the previous window a year ago, last January, when we had Bergval and Dragushin. Maybe they've come in and helped a bit, but otherwise, I think we've stagnated, and that is actually the state of affairs right now with Big Angel's team, the club, everything from head to toe at this club. We are regressing, and yeah, I'm sorry, but the recruitment is partly to blame for that. And have we improved on an inch? No, but if you look at the squad, neither has a squad, and that in itself tells us why Big Ange isn't improving.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Chang. I completely agree with what you just said. Good morning, Lisa Chica. Hope you're well, my love. Van der Ven's not injured. Romero needs assessment. Romero walked off at the end, did not have dressing or ice. Yeah, I think, look, a lot of people slagging him off for starting him too. I just don't think he had much choice. And if the players are saying, look, we're capable, Ange isn't an idiot. He ain't going to play them if they're not fit. And I remember people saying, oh, an 80% Harry Kane is better than a so-and-so and so-and-so. So you've got to be consistent with that, with what you think.
No, he said he said that they'd been training and they trained really well, and they both said they were fit to play. So he said, I have to take their word. But he said Romero's injury was nothing to do with his previous injury. He was tight on the top of his leg. And Van der Ven was just tired and had cramp. So, but he said he was always going to bring him off after 60 minutes anyway.
Look, Chelsea boy, big up to you. You are in a title race, but I don't think you'll win the title because your centre-back and goalkeeper are not good enough. But if you get a good keeper and two good centre-backs, you're going to be right up there next year and could walk it. I think if you had that, you would got as much chance of winning it as Liverpool. Not a single voice could be heard in the stadium yesterday, not one protest outside. No, I was told no Levy out chance at all, but it's disturbing the abuse held around by some well-known online individuals calling Johnson, Brennan and Ange Postecoglou. I don't like it. I won't. I don't think anyone deserves abuse. And the thing is, a lot of the people that are doing this are the ones that were on my mental health stream saying you to be kind. You know, these are human beings at the end of the day.
Do you know what, Kate? Look, at the end of the day, right? It's when criticism is deserved, right? People should be able to give their opinion and give it, right? When players play bad, people should be able to say he played bad, but keep it respectful. That's all. All you should do is say it in a respectful manner.
Yeah. This is a shining example of proper fans. Newcastle, 2 years of inconsistency and yet create the best atmosphere at St James's. Where are we? Tottenham fans.
I thought the Tottenham fans, well, they were singing all through the game. I could hear them singing. They were singing all through the game, Kate.
Don't forget they do play music over the thing. But do you not think that Tottenham fans' expectations are higher than Newcastle and maybe higher than they should be? I mean, Chang, you're nodding. Do you think we've got unrealistic expectations at Tottenham?
I think it's not so much of the expectations. I think it's the years and years and years of hurt and maybe somewhat misplaced optimism, because every time at the start of a new dawn or a false dawn, now it's looking more and more like you look at the Jose Mourinho appointment, the Conte appointment, even the Nuno appointment to a certain extent. How many times have we actually tried to fool ourselves tell ourselves that, you know what, this time is going to be different. This time with Jose, it's going to work out different. This time with Conte, it's going to turn out better than maybe Jose, or maybe this time, finally, at long last, we have a manager who knows his PR, who knows how to talk to players, who knows how to talk to the media. He even speaks English, in his native tongue, is Big Ange, but 18 months later, we are still not much better from where we were with Jose and Conte, and it really begs to differ. Is it really our expectations, or maybe it's just how many years of, misplaced optimism that the fans feel like even the slightest downturn, even the minutest, even the most minor of defeats, we actually feel it a lot more than other teams because of however many years of mediocrity we have to live with. And yeah, I think this is part and parcel of Levy and the stewardship, but also a lot of it still goes back to ENIC. I mean, you look at the ticket prices, you look at the concessions that were pulled out. I mean, how many more privileges, or rather how many more PR mishaps is Spurs going to have to go through before we just say, you know what, the heart and soul of this football club has been ripped out. Us fans, we've been, taken advantage of. They have tried to they've squeezed every last penny out of us, and look at where we are now. Nowhere better off than we were when, say, we sacked Pochettino, if I were to be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, you got to look at our team, right? This is where you got to put Levy in the spotlight. You got to look at our team, right? And have we got any real top superstars in our team? We've always had superstars in our team. I mean, I go back with Spurs a long time, right? Back to the 60s. And Spurs have always had superstars. Have we got superstars in our team now? Maybe Kulu, Sonny when he's on it, right?
Kulu's not a superstar. Not yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's no real superstars. I mean, Van der Ven maybe later on in his career become a top player. I don't think he is now. He's a really good player, but he's not a top player. We've got no real superstars in our team. As Steve D says, we've got no sprinkles of stardust. Where over the years, if you look back over the years, we've always had superstars that can turn games on a sixpence. We've always had one or two of them in there. The last superstar we had was Kane.
Yeah.
Who held this club up for years and years and years. Without Kane, we would have dropped a lot deeper in the shit.
Papered over a lot of cracks, did Harry Kane?
Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did with his goals.
Big up John James. Not seen you in here for ages. Good afternoon, Jimbo, Kate and Chang. Hope you're well. Looks like we're all stuck in some serious mud. Anyone got the number for AA? Arseholes Anonymous. My club's a joke. Big up JJ. Look, your rebuild's going to take time, but I hear what you're saying. But at least you ain't a Spurs fan. That's all I'll say to you. For me personally, because you're in the top 6 bracket, the fans expect more. However, look at the Cronkies. The fans wanted them out not that long ago, but they had to change, and Levy needs to do the same. Yep. I didn't know that I didn't realise there was fans wanting us to lose yesterday, but I mean, that's a disgrace. Sorry.
I can't really.
They're probably the same fans that will sit until July. I don't know.
I can't see fans wanting us to lose. I mean, I'd be very surprised if there was.
Yeah.
Especially against Chelsea.
This manager is crap. The director of football's crap. And this owner is the biggest con man. It's a lot of them, says Benji. Vindaloo, big up to you. Says, big up Jimbo, Kate Chang. I'm hearing discussions have started on Angie's replacement. Thomas Frank, Marco Silva, Potter apparently has got until the Southampton game to improve results. I don't know where you've seen that. I've not seen or heard anything about Ange possibly being replaced. So I don't know where.
I haven't seen that either.
No, and I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. And that's me. Big up AJ. Good to see you, my love. Hope you're well. But for me, hang on to the end of the season. Get Eddie Howe. Oh my God, Vindaloo, I did say that earlier. I said he's an option. But as Lynn Simpson just pointed out, he's got the freedom at Newcastle that he won't have at Spurs, and he's still struggling. So is he right for us? I'm not sure. But I don't think we should be sacking anyone mid-season. we need a plan, and Ryan Mason is not in a plan for me. Big love to you as well, JJ. Hope you're all well and your health's better. Apart from the 2 slips from Cucurella, did you guys think you looked like scoring? Because I didn't, apart from Sarr hitting the bar. No, not really. I was just hoping Cucurella would keep those boots on for the whole 90 minutes. He was like Bambi on ice.
Son had a good chance, 1-on-1, and missed it.
And he tried another curler, didn't he, which went high and wide.
It wasn't far away, though, mate.
I didn't think we looked particularly clinical, but I don't think any of the midfield really stood up yesterday. I would have had Madders on sooner because I thought Biss was terrible. But even before he gave the penalty away, I thought he was shocking. Big up Queen Ellie says we can win cup matches playing this gung-ho style of football as cup games are generally open and teams take risks. Yeah, because it's a one-off game. I'm not naming names, but they know who they are. And all I'll say is one of them is everyone's favourite ray of sunshine who can be seen on Daddy Wawa streams. Okay. John James says your club's in a unique position regarding your directors and owners. It's not just a football club and not in a small way. That's why the football name was taken off the jerseys. It's a brand now. Yeah, it is a brand. We all laughed at Todd Bowley. Are we laughing now? No, but
I never laughed at Todd Bowley because I didn't give a shit about him.
No, exactly. Yogi says, I assume every possible other team is spreading Ange hate because they see that they'll get defeated by the system for 10 years if Levy actually spends. Phil P says, not now, Kate, wanting us to lose to City at the end of last season to deny Woolwich the title is very different to wanting to lose to Chelsea so Ange loses his job. The latter is an utter disgrace. Yes, it is slight difference. I just don't ever want us to lose for any reason. I can't help it because it makes me so miserable when we lose. Ellie says, apologies, big up to Kate, Jimbo and Chang and loving the Christmas vibe. Thank you, Ellie. And look, I've got my ho-ho-ho jumper on. I had to put something colourful on today because I don't feel great and I'm pissed off with the football. So I had to put something colourful on that was Christmassy to cheer me out. Sonny should have had a hat trick. Yeah, Sonny worries me, Chang. You know, I know that it wasn't that long ago that I said Sonny muddies us every year because we all say he's finished and then he does something amazing, but he's just got no clinical edge at the minute, has he, Min-Son?
I think it's down to confidence. I really do. I think this isn't the kind of this is definitely not the Sonny we've seen from seasons past. I mean, if you look back at that wonder goal he scored against Chelsea at Wembley, how he took down the entire right wing, how he nutmegged. I think it was it? No. He was Azpilicueta the last, but he was David Luiz. Yes, David Luiz when he nutmegged David Luiz. If you look back at that Sonny, who scored that goal at Wembley, and the Sonny we had yesterday night was a far cry, although he did redeem himself partly with that very, very late consolation goal. But other than that, that's miss. I would say it's a miss because, he was bearing down on goal and he couldn't even hit the target. He beat the keeper. I think he also beat Cucurella, but he also beat the post. So from that range, you would expect Sonny to, at the very least, maybe just hit the target. He can't even do that, and that for me is worrying. And it's not like he's not done that before. He's actually scored better goals. I mean, if you look back at his Puskas Award goal against Burnley, he scored from pretty much almost the same position, and he couldn't even hit the target yesterday. So that's a bit of a worry. And for me, that tells me that yes, he is on his way down. Regardless of whether you want to admit it, regardless of whether you think you've seen it or can't see it yet, I think he is on his way down. But I still feel though that deep down inside, I think he still has a very important role to play for us, either as our outfield player or as a club captain or even both. I think that he still is a very integral player to our season. But the sooner we find his replacement, the better, Miss Kate. Back to you.
Okay, can I just answer when Mark said that I said they were in a mess? I only told the truth, Mark. I never said that you should get rid of Todd Bowley or get rid of anyone. I just said you was in a mess, and that's you can't. That was the truth. I wasn't making it up. You was in a real mess.
And Chelsea fans were saying it as well. Chelsea fans were all up in arms about Todd Bowley. So
but if you remember what
at the time.
If you remember what I said, Mark, I said that you are in a real mess, and you was, because they were bringing in managers one after the other. You brought back your midfielder. What was his name? The one that managed them, Lampard. You brought back Lampard, which was a big mistake. And you was buying players just for the sake of buying players that weren't really Chelsea players. But I did say as well that it won't last. I said it'll last 1 or 2 seasons, then they get it right.
Yeah. Was trying to type Son seems to lack confidence at the minute, and he's maybe overcompensating by trying too hard to make goals. That one attempt, he clearly should have passed to Johnson. Yeah. I do love you, Vindaloo, but I would never wear an Arsenal top. It would go. The only thing I'd use an Arsenal top for is to wipe my arse. There we go. £1 billion later, plus 4 managers on in 2 years. This is the first season that there has been the most improvement. And before this, Chelsea were going mad. Yeah, exactly. Fans that don't like the owners, you said it at the start of the season, Jim.
What do you mean, fans that don't like the owners? I don't like the owners at our club. I don't understand that, Mark.
No, I don't either. Vindaloo, big up, mate. That was a red card all day long. Not sure why it wasn't given. The reason stated officially was poor. Of course it was. It was pathetic. Yeah, a bum and all shirt for a bum. Exactly. I'm not saying it was just you, Jim. Every rival fan was. Yeah, but I think every Chelsea fan was.
Yeah, the thing was, Mark,
absolutely pulling their hair out.
I just said you was in a real state, and maybe I said it was to do with Todd Bowley. I don't think I did say it was to do with Todd Bowley, because he was just throwing money at the club, throwing money, and that's not the way to do it, is it? The manager's got to pick his players, the right players that are going to fit his system. But then you was just changing manager after manager. But I also said, I remember him saying, it won't last with Chelsea. They get it right. Maybe they have a few seasons where they're struggling, but then they get it right. And you have.
Yeah. What came out in the media was, in an interview after the game yesterday, Romero came out and defended Ange, saying he's a great coach. We saw it in his first season. In this second one, we've suffered a lot of injuries. Players should be the first ones to be criticised. Then if we lose 10 games, the staff can be changed. We're very happy with this staff, me and my colleagues, and we love how they work and the football they try to play. But he then retweeted a tweet that said, oh no, Romero clearly signalled that he would leave the club if Levy sacked Ange. Unfortunately, they're the only two at the club who have ambition. So for Romero to tweet that would insinuate that that's how he feels. And he obviously is a huge Ange Postecoglou fan, which I've been ultra critical of Romero this season, saying his head's been turned. But I might be actually wrong, because he's sticking up for Ange massively there. So maybe the players do like the way they're playing football. But I mean, let's just be fair. If Arsenal were to play Chelsea tomorrow without Raya, and with a 75% fit Saliba and a 75% Gabriel, you're going to see a difference, right?
No, you mean Arsenal? You said Chelsea.
No, I said if Arsenal were to play Chelsea, didn't I?
Oh, sorry.
So you've got to take that into account. And plus, the game before, Arsenal would have been without Saliba, Gabriel, and Raya. You know, it's only this game that we had our backline come back. So I think you have to just put it in a bit of context. What do you mean, Benji? You've heard things, conflicting reports saying the total opposite. What does that mean? Yes, so the answer to the question, had Maresca hadn't got £1 billion of players on the pitch, would he have had the success because he wouldn't have had the players to rotate with? Exactly. They spent £1 billion on top quality young players. Pot's got them organised now. Maresca's taken them forward. I mean, we've got a lot of young players, maybe not in the same class, but we have got a lot of young players. We'd still give Chelsea a game. Angus, you don't know that. You don't even know that. Honestly.
So, like, you don't know that we're going to get beat by Rangers. You're presuming we're going to get beat by Rangers.
I don't really take your opinion seriously, Angus, and I don't mean that disrespectful, but you find it absolutely impossible to be unbiased. And yes, I agree. We were losing a lot when they were fit. I agree. But I don't think 18 months into changing a whole new philosophy at a football club is a long time. I really, really don't. When you think we were playing very negative defensive football and he's changing everything, plus he's had to take into account we lost Harry Kane, plus he's had to take into account we've got this pathetic new director of football who is completely useless. I just don't think it's that long a time. But look, I put Ange has got to take his share of the blame. The players have got to take their share of the blame, but the majority of the blame will always go to Levy, in my opinion. But Lisa says, I'm very surprised by Romero's post. At least it seemed like him as a player stated that the players have to take responsibility because he himself has cost us matches with poor defence. Exactly, but then we don't know if he goes away and it doesn't eat him up and worry him. You know, I don't know. None of us know. Kate, Arsenal played Chelsea without Odegaard and Rice.
I think it bothers Sonny a lot.
Yeah, I thought he was going to cry yesterday. Yeah, but Odegaard and Rice, okay, but I'm talking about your two key defensive centre-backs and your goalkeeper. So your whole main part of your back line. It's not the same as losing two midfielders. I'm sorry, it's not. Like you beat Fulham with all your players fit, Angus. Go on, Ellie. Losing 7 games by January is absolutely unacceptable. Jimbo, because your players don't have the bottle and can't deal with hostile atmospheres. Well, we won at the Etihad. I would say that was pretty hostile.
Angus, you do waffle. You do waffle, mate. Honestly, you're predicting a loss, and we haven't even played them yet, right? I mean,
yeah, we drew with Fulham as well, Angus. But you mocked us, and yet you went and done the same. And your team is miles better than ours. You say that we had
a depleted team as well. Our team was well depleted. So it's like
Chelsea looks scary. They worry me. These £1 billion bottle jobs have found their bottle. Well said, Kate. Split and Levy should shoulder the majority of the blame. Abso-friggin-lutely. Yesterday on paper, we should have beaten Fulham. A goal shouldn't have been chalked off. However, we only got a draw that wasn't acceptable. I don't know what goal got chalked.
Right at the death. They scored right at the death, and it was taken.
Yeah, but that was offside. Clearly offside. Transfer window's a lot to blame. Like Chang said, we bought average players, but fans were rating it at the time. Sonny was crying down the tunnel. I really felt for him as he spurs through and through. Oh, I love Sonny. Yeah, Lynn. Odegaard played when we last played Arsenal. There we go. Romero said his colleagues like to play this style, and that's great. So we can assume Ange still has the dressing room, but then maybe Ange needs to accept he has to tweak slightly to help the guys. He definitely needs a set-piece coach coming in without any shadow. Arsenal ain't winning the league. Both Rice and Odegaard played us. There we go. Smash a like. It does tons for the channel. Be a homie. Yes, it does. And thank you to everyone that watched my video the other day on Spurs have broken me. It's my most watched video, and I didn't even think it was very good. I just waffled on for 10 minutes, but thank you. I appreciate it massively. It's heading us very close to 2,000. We're well on the road to 2,000 subs now. Lisa says, big up Lisa, Neto and Sancho have made a big difference in their attack this year. We would never sign those players due to wages. Imagine those two along with Brennan and Sonny instead of who we have. Yeah, Sancho looked excellent yesterday. But look, it is what it is. Another game.
Look, at the end of the day, Kate, look, at the end of the day, right, you can be screaming Ange in, Ange out, right? You can be screaming this player's crap, this player's let us down. You know, it's out of our control. So look, I said it the other day. If Ange gets sacked, right, I'm not going to lose any sleep, and I'll back the next manager comes in. But I'm not going to sit here screaming for him to be sacked because it's going to make no difference. My voice is not going to make a difference. You know, Levy's not going to sack him if I sit here and say Ange out. You know, it's out of our control. So I've just learned to deal with who's there, back them when they go back the next one, because it ain't going to make a difference. We're in Levy's hands. as
what
always.
What I won't accept are other fans who are Ange out saying that you're not a fan if you want Ange in. I don't think it's fair. It's the same way I'm not going to sit here and say you're not a fan if you want Ange out, because I can see why. I literally can see why. I just don't think it's in the best interests of the club at this moment to get rid of him. I don't see why we just don't stick with him till the end of the season. But that's me. I'm not going to.
You know what's going to happen will happen, and we've got no control over it.
I know that there's people that watch this channel that don't speak and report back to other people, whatnot. And you can say whatever, but I will never slag people off and say you ain't a fan if you want Ange out or Ange in, because it's pathetic. But a couple of comments I starred. Mario, did I do this? Yeah, Chang, it's not just one loss, 1 win is 7, and God knows how many. Yeah, I read that one. Sorry. Read that one. Read that one. Wow. Yusuf, the Liverpool fan, says, after 15 games, what are your expectations for Spurs in terms of league position? Jimbo, I'll come to you first.
Well, top 6. We've still got our aim for top 6. We're not a million miles away from it. We're not a million miles away from the bottom. So we need to start getting results. But it's getting difficult. We can see that. But you've got to also say, Kate, right, that the Premier League is the lower teams are not so lower anymore. Some of them are real decent squads. There's 3 teams I think that go down in my mind. But look, even they're on their day. Can beat top teams. It's a hard league, and maybe I think some Spurs fans think we're better than what we are. I might be one of them because I always advocate a win, but it's only because I can't advocate us to lose. But it's a hard league. It's such a hard league. You see Arsenal. They're flying. They've been flying for the last 10 days, 2 weeks, and then they draw to Fulham because Fulham are not a bad team. And when we drew with them, everyone said how shit we was. But then Arsenal, one of the best teams in the league, drew with them. They're not a terrible team, Kate. Bournemouth are a good team,
Crystal Palace drew with Man City.
Yeah, it's the nature of the league now. It's very hard. You've got to be on your game every single game. And we're not on our game every single game. That's why we're dropping points. Some of these players have to be held responsible. Like yesterday, we could have got something out of that game, but they give 2 stupid penalties away. You've got to be on your game and you've got to be fighting for 90 to 100 minutes, however long the game is, to get something out of this, out of these games now. It's just the way it is. You can't go into any game thinking you're going to walk over it. It ain't going to happen in this league.
Well, I predicted 7th, and I'm sticking with 7th. But I'm hoping for a cup still. And I know people will go, oh, she's deluded, but I don't care. I'm a fan. And fans are deluded because we all think dreams can happen. And that's what the beauty is of football. It isn't about sitting here being miserable and moaning all the time. It's about thinking big and thinking, do you know what? We could win a cup because they're one-off games. Who knows? So I'm sticking to 7th and us lifting some sort of silverware at the end of the season. And if we don't, I'm going to get the lamp behind Jim that looks like the Europa League, and I'm going to lift it, and I'm going to kiss it shamelessly and give myself a trophy for being the best dressed female on YouTube. So there we go. I've said it. Clip it.
Do you know what, Kate? If you'd have looked at this weekend's games, right, before they kicked off, you'd have had Arsenal City winning straight away.
We did.
We did. And it's
just all of us.
It's a tough league. That's as simple as that.
Chang, what about you? What's your thoughts on what your expectations are in terms of league position?
We are actually still within touching distance of 5th. We're only 5 points behind 5th place Forest. And although they did win away against United at Old Trafford, on Saturday, anything can still happen from between now to the end of the season. If you look at the fixtures, there are still 23 games left to play. Although in our case, it's going to be a lot tougher because now the games are going to be coming thick and fast. And we all know what a congested month December is going to be because of the festive fixtures. But the only one hope that I have right now is that I am still expecting Big Ange, however unlikely it might be. I'm actually expecting him to be able to replicate his fifth place finish last season. That didn't look at all, on the cards the moment we sold Kane. Let's be perfectly honest with ourselves. And yet we still finished fifth. We were unlucky that the end of the season last season was bad. So hopefully this time around, instead of us tailing off towards the end of the season, maybe this is our time to slump. But me always being on the optimistic side, who knows, we might actually find our form towards the end of last season, the way Chelsea themselves did towards the end of last season. Although, yes, I know they have a larger squad, a better prepared squad compared to us, but here's me hoping that somehow, somewhere, we get some players in. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no more Timo Werners. Absolutely no more Timo Werners come January. Someone of some substance. I take anyone. I take, what's his name? Lacazette on loan if it means coming to that, or maybe someone else who's not an ex-Gooner to, shore in for us. But there are so many options that I just feel that we are maybe 2 or 3 players from really kicking on. So here's hoping, me being always eternally optimistic, that we will get the right players in a few weeks' time, the moment the January transfer window opens. And I mean, we saw it last season. I mean, we saw it this year in January. We got Bergvall, we got Dragushin. Dragushin was wanted by Bayern Munich, and we got him. So you never know who we'll get this season, but yeah, we cannot afford to send any more new signings out on loan. We have too many at the moment. What we need right now is a couple of good signings in January, and here's hoping, fingers crossed, we will finish fifth at the end of the season. Probably even a trophy as well, but that's me. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chang. Matt Law has tweeted that Ange Postecoglou has retained internal backing and support at Tottenham, with no knee-jerk reactions expected ahead of a vital run of games at Christmas. So he's going to be there till at least Christmas time. And I think, don't care who disagrees with me, I think that's the right move.
What's that, Kate? What did you say? Sorry?
That he's had a vote of confidence from basically the board that have said that they're not going to do any knee-jerk reactions, especially before Christmas time. So
the thing is they can't do that, Kate. They need to have a plan in place. They can't do anything rash and just bring in anybody. They've done that before and it hasn't worked. Get a plan in place if they're going to sack him, and give the fans something, to think, right, okay, he's trying, not just make a rash decision.
Vindaloo says, who's to blame? Well, I said I would give it 20% Ange, 20% players, 60% Levy. That's me. I don't know if that's fair, or, I mean, what do you think, Chang? Am I being a little bit...
Levy 70%. Players 15% and Ange 15%. I think that should be a fair. I mean, that to me anyway. To me, it's 70% on Levy and Enoch, and the other 30% should be shared equally between Big Ange and our players.
Yeah, Jim, do you agree?
Well, yesterday I put most of it on the players for their stupidness and not keeping cool heads in tight moments. Giving away penalties when they shouldn't, missing goals when they should have scored them. So for me, a lot of it yesterday was on the players. We could have been out of sight yesterday against Chelsea, and he does need to tighten up. But yesterday, I thought that the defenders did drop back a bit, and there was a lot of people behind the ball, but they just weren't defending well, right? I mean, you can't blame Ange for that. You can't blame Ange for giving 2 penalties away, right? And Levy, he's got so much to be accountable for. He just makes bad decision after bad decision. It is like he isn't that bothered about the football and just wants to make loads of money. He frustrates me, because I remember him saying that the idea of building the stadium, right, and the training ground was so it could all be thrown at the football team, because we're a football club. Spurs is a football club. You know, our history is unbelievable. You know, further than I go, further than me, our history's been, how long I've supported them, our history's been fantastic. And he seems to have taken that away since he's took over. Our history's just dying because of him. And you've got to blame him because he's the owner. You know, he's the one who makes the decisions with managers and players. So he has to take the blame.
Do you think there's an argument that Ange isn't out of his depth, but because we're paying sort of the stringent wage structure? Did I dip out then?
I think I did. I don't know.
I think both of you dipped out. I could be wrong. Someone in the chat, let me know.
It's probably the weather. The weather's bad.
Yeah. And honestly, though, now that you mention it, both of you are actually looking more and more pixelated. Like your bandwidth might be dropping. No, you're still very much there. You're both very much there, but your resolution, your camera resolution might be dropping a little. You're looking a bit pixelated, but you're otherwise fine. You're fine.
Yeah. Do you think there's an argument because Levy's got such a stringent wage structure that we're getting mid-table players, mid-table performances because he's not prepared to go that extra mile?
Yeah, that's got massively to do with it. So there's certain players, right? Hang on.
Talk to the dog, I think.
Yeah, I am.
Jimmy,
There's massive players, right? There's loads of players that won't come to us because of the wage structure. Why are they going to come to us when they can go and get double the wages somewhere else? You know, he is stingy with the wages. But before, right, you're right, David. Before, when we was at White Hart Lane, I kind of understood that because he didn't want to get the club in trouble. So I was quite an advocate of not paying stupid money, because you're going to end up in a situation like Blackburn was, like Everton have got themselves into, you know, getting deducted points because of a money situation. But now we're in this stadium and we're making a lot of money. We're making more money than anyone else in the Premier League, I think. You know, he should be paying bigger, he should be paying bigger wages to bring in bigger players, because we're a football club. Yeah, you buy average, you get average. Exactly right, Paddy. Right, Bobby.
Big up Bobby K. He's going shopping. Please go and buy me some chocolates. I need lots of chocolates today. Ange keeps picking players who give the ball away, pick some youngsters to try and do something different. I think Levy will give him the season, though. I mean, he has tried youngsters a few times. Chang, do you think he should be playing more of the youth or keep it as it is?
He should just keep it as it is, really, honestly. I mean, he could try and experiment with the youth if, let's say, we had a few games to spare in Europe. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And because of that Roma draw, when honestly, we should have wrapped up that win. Honestly, I think there is absolutely no room for error. And more importantly, I feel that, I just mentioned earlier that the summer transfer window has been an absolute catastrophe, barring maybe Solanke, and even though he's struggling to find his form. So this is the last possible, this is the worst possible time for anyone, for that matter, not just Big Ange, whether it's your Amorim or your Lopetegui or even Lego hit himself. No one should be experimenting now when there is so much to be gained from this uncertain season where nothing can be taken for granted. If we look at the weekend's fixtures, Liverpool drop points, City drop points, Arsenal drop points, United drop points. Everyone was dropping left, right, and center. Even Brighton, I thought they would get that win against Leicester. They are dropping points. So no one can afford to be gambling on youngsters unless those youngsters have actually got that track record. Maybe when Saka was younger and he had that track record going for him, so maybe that might be a gamble. But otherwise, yesterday when we brought on Archie Gray and Bergvall, not once did I think, oh, you know what, maybe we will finally see them click, maybe they will finally come good against Chelsea. But another part of me was thinking, oh my goodness, please don't let Archie Gray get injured again so soon after coming off, just like last weekend. Yeah, so
I know.
So yeah, that's that downside to playing youngsters.
Look, Kate, Tottenham,
Yes.
the highest paid players: Heung-min Son 190, James Maddison 170, Romero 165, Werner 165, Kulicheski 110, Dominic Solanke. He's a £65 million player and he's getting paid £90,000 a week, right? Richarlison 90, Dragusin 85, Pedro 85, Davis 80, Bentancur 75, Foster 75, Archie Gray 75, the goalkeeper Vicario 75, Basuma 55, Mickey Van der Ven 50, Mickey Van der Ven 50.
Yeah, but they will give them improved contracts. But I mean, so many of them are. When you think Bentancur's getting paid less than Werner, that's an absolute disgrace.
I mean, the highest paid is 190.
Listen, Daniel Coyes, I don't know if you've only just come into the show, but not once have we said it's all Daniel Levy's fault. We've been saying there's got to be blame applied to the players and to Daniel Levy and to Ange Postecoglou. So I don't know whether you've just come in and just taken that, but and Ben's saying that's right. But Ben, you've been here and we haven't said that once. So I don't understand why people are saying that's what we've said, because we haven't. We're supposed to be in a youth project, but we don't play them because they're not good enough. Yep, quite possibly. There's no evidence we're in a rebuild process or project. Ben says we don't gamble on youngsters. We gamble on barely fit players and expect them to play 90 minutes. I'm not even going to answer that. Apparently, we're not playing the full 165 for Werner. The deal was re-jiggled about when we re-signed him. Ange is buying players for certain positions and then plays them out of position, so lack of confidence will creep through. Yeah, I agree with that. The point is it's
accumulation of the players, the manager, and Levy. Our club's it's in a bit of a disarray in it, but you've got to look for when Levy took over, what he's done for the club. It's fantastic in the sense of the stadium and the training facilities. But he did say that once all that was done, right, and it's been a few years now since that's done, he's going to plough it into the team. But we're not seeing that. Right? Or if he is ploughing it in, they're buying the wrong players. So that's down to Levy to make sure he gets the right recruitment team in. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just all a bit of a shambles at the minute. All of it, from top to bottom.
This is a great point, which we've spoke about before. Every manager's been sacked, but Ryan Mason's been the only one to survive. Why hasn't he been sacked? I mean, Chang, he's part of this losing mentality at this club. He's got to go, surely.
I mean, honestly, this just reeks of Levy and Enoch all over it. I mean, what better so-called former Spurs alumni, who's also one of our own. Let's not forget he is one of our own. But if he really was any good at all, I mean, why is he even still here? Why hasn't him been sent off to, say, another league to do maybe what Lampard did or even what Gary Neville did abroad? Why is he just hanging around? And honestly, I don't think he's actually learning anything. He's not actually learning anything groundbreaking or new. He might be just picking up on some of the PR traits, but even then is looking very glum at the moment. So yeah, for me, having Ryan Mason around, that just it's things of Levy and Enoch's interference all over it. And I think that is I think whoever comes in next, if someone else does come in to replace Big Ange in the near future, getting rid of Ryan Mason has got to be top priority too as well, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yesterday I blamed the players as much as the manager. They went 2-0 up. The players should have been fighting so hard to keep the lead. Agree completely, Lynn. I don't know what Angus means by Tottenham fans have no balls, but go on, Chang.
Okay, I'm just going to say this very quickly. I just realized I haven't actually spoken about the game apart from maybe the final score and maybe some of the more controversial moments. Before the game at kickoff, it was something like almost half past 11 p.m. And when I was tweeting on our group, when I saw the lineup, I was thinking, what? Van Haven is back. Romero is back. What is happening? We have 10 outfield players whom could win this game. They could really win this game. And within like the first 15 or was it 20 minutes when we went 2-0 up, I was thinking, oh my goodness, this really is happening. This is going to be City all over again. And when they hit back that one goal, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is where it's going to get interesting. When we go into the halftime at 2-1, is this going to play out like that's home league? The home League Cup win against City. Are we actually going to keep the scores at 2-1 come full time, or is this going to be Brighton away all over again? Are we going to blow the 2-goal lead? Are we going to concede 3 and not have any sort of response, not have any sort of fight? Is Big Ange just going to be standing there with no substitutions? This was all going through my head. Now that it's all done and dusted, I mean, this is why we love football. It's so unpredictable. Anything can happen. Like the way we started, the way we fell off, the way we just gave away the penalties. Yes, a lot of it is down to us or the players or even the coaching. But this is really what gives me hope, that eternal hope that maybe, just maybe, we are just around the corner of something great. We never know. And that will never come to fruition if we get rid of Ange. So let's just stick with Ange, bottom line. And whatever is past is past. Yesterday's result is over. It's almost 24 hours since we kicked off. We have Rangers away in midweek and even Southampton to look forward to next weekend. So let's just give Ange to the end of the season at the very least. And let's see what happens come end of this calendar year. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, and Vindaloo's spot on. The poll, 94 votes, 50% say Ange in, 50% say Ange out. And that's exactly how I've seen it all day. I looked on TalkSport and it was 50% Ange in, 50% Ange out. It is unbelievable how close it is. There really is a real divide in the fan base as to what people want to do with this manager.
Well, everyone's got their own opinion, Kate, and they've got the reasons for their own opinion. It doesn't make anyone right or wrong. You know, I see both sides of it. I'm one of these people that can see why you'd want him gone. But
not
I can
Jose.
see why,
I don't want Jose Mourinho back under any circumstances.
And I can see why people want him to stay. I mean, I'm not. I'm kind of on the fence at the minute. Where if he gets sacked, I'm not that bothered. Where before I didn't want him sacked, but if he doesn't get sacked, then I'll still back him because I can see that he's trying to take us somewhere, but it's just not working. Yeah. And is that down to him or is it down to the players? But he could adapt and he could shore things up a little bit when we got 2-0 leads. But look, it's the way he plays. We have to accept that, and if it doesn't work, he's going to get sacked. There's nothing we can do. By not accepting it, right? It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make Levy sack him. It's the results that's going to make Levy sack him. Like, if I agree with what he does or not, it's not going to make a difference. You know, there is times when I wish I'd have seen him do a few things differently, but I just accept that's the way he plays, and that's we've got to back him or not back him, and I choose to back him.
Yeah, I mean, if Vindaloo asked this question, where is it? If Ange left or gets sacked, who would you like? Is there anyone in your head, Jimbo, that you'd like?
Do you know what? I haven't got a clue. See you later, Vindaloo. I haven't got a clue, Kate, because over the last few years, we've seen so many different managers come and go of all different styles. I don't know. But I suppose, I mean, do we go back to Poch because we know he's got the passion for this club and he had us playing some great football. I don't know where we go, Kate, with the manager. I'm honestly lost because we've tried so many different types. It's like people are saying Potter, right? If Potter come in, he wouldn't be my first choice, but I would back him. And he had Brighton playing some really good football, and he does adapt in games. I don't know, Kate. I'm honestly lost for who to bring in. You know, I'm a little bit lost with Ange at the minute as well. I've got to be honest, because I'm thinking to myself, is it just his stubbornness, or is it he doesn't know how to adapt the team? I don't know. I'm absolutely lost with it all with the managerial situation. I don't know. I don't know who I'd bring in.
What about you, Chang? If for instance we get a notification that he's sacked, is there someone that you'd like to bring in?
Thomas Frank right now. I would take Thomas Frank. For me, I think no, getting any so-called top caliber manager is completely out of the question. No self-respecting manager with any sort of credentials that could really win trophies with the likes of Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or even Man City would want to come to us. And I know some of us laughed at Vincent Company when Bayern Munich got him from Burnley. Look at him now. So here's me thinking that maybe, again, just me being optimistic, but maybe Thomas Frank might just be that Vincent Company for us. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but if there was one person that I would take right now, it would be Thomas Frank.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see
just
that.
Think any manager that comes into this club, Kate, sorry to interrupt you, has got a job and a half on their hands. I just think it's going to be tough for any manager that comes into this club. Sorry.
I'd take Frank, but if I had to have my absolute number one who I'd bring in, I'd bring Poch back, and I don't care. People think I'm sentimental, but he loves this club, and I think he could do it again. So I'd bring Poch back. I don't see it happening, but that's what I would do. Who's going to come to us? No one special. I mean, to be fair, if I was Thomas Frank, he's flying at Brentford. They love him at Brentford. The club's run well. Why would you leave that to go to Tottenham?
Exactly.
I wouldn't. Ten Hag. Do you know what? I've seen various YouTubers say they'd have Ten Hag. After watching him at Man United, I would not touch him with a barge pole.
Well, he kind of shafted himself because he had a good brand of football and he completely changed it at Man United. Why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, Eddie Howe said that, but as Lynn said, he's got the freedom at Newcastle and they're still struggling. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I would definitely take my little Pochi back. I love him. He's my second behind my Jimbo for the men that I love. Look, we've spoken at length about Spurs. I'm going to just touch on a couple of games. Man City, just when we think they've turned a corner, dropping points again to Crystal Palace. Chang, what's going on with this team?
Again, this is why you should never count your chicks to the hatch. I mean, this game right here is the perfect everything about Man City right now. They are just in disarray, and to pinpoint it on just one single player, I think is getting ridiculous by the week. And I mean, yes, of course, there is that argument. Oh, City got reduced to 10 men because of Rico Lewis's second consecutive yellow card. But come on, Fulham did the same, and they didn't lose to us. So again, City are in disarray. But I mean, this could be something that is not only just. It's not only. This isn't something that is happening to only one team. I mean, if you look at what do you call this? Oh my goodness me! Suddenly slipped my mind now. United, yes. If we look at United, both halves of United are struggling. So it's not just only City; it's all of the teams this season. The teams this season, they are finding it tough, and City are actually going to come under the microscope a lot more because of their consecutive league wins. So for me, something has to change at City the same way something has to change at Spurs if we are to actually become a powerhouse to be reckoned with. Something has to change with the owners. For me at City, I think something has to change with Pep for him to just almost like in a way Pep is almost doing a big end right now. Pep is still thinking that he can play the same system without Rodri, without actually tinkering, without actually trying to reinvent himself in a way over at City without Rodri. I think that is going to be his greatest undoing. The same way Big Ange just won't give up his so-called entertaining style of football. So yeah, I think for City, the single biggest thing that City and Pep himself especially, they need to address is just trying to find a way to play football without Rodri in a system that fits the players that he has.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Jim, anything you want to add to the City debacle?
No, Pep will get it right. He'll get it right because he's the best manager in the world. So I'd like to see Pep at Tottenham and see what he could do with us.
Do you think they're out the title race?
You can never count Man City out. Never. I mean, look, they look really good this season, Liverpool, but they look good every season. Even when they had a blip, they still ended up in the top four. You know, they went on the run at the end. But it's going to be hard to derail Liverpool because they're such a good team. You know, he's obviously a decent manager. He was left a really strong team, you know, and he's not tinkered that much with it. He hasn't needed to, has he? But you can never count them out. I don't think they'll win it. I think Liverpool will win it. But you can't count
Pep not out. Spurs anymore. Have you accepted Spurs ain't winning it now, darling?
Of course I have. I said that. I said the quad's not on, but the treble's on.
To be fair, it's still mathematically possible. Highly unlikely, but it's still mathematically possible.
No, I'm not going to be that deluded, let me tell you.
Talking of Thomas Frank, his team went and smashed Newcastle. I can't say I saw any of it, and I didn't watch Match of the Day. So unless anyone knows anything about it, particularly,
well, they don't lose at home, and they lose away. Their away form's relegation form, and their home form's title winning. Their home form's title winning form. You know, they just don't lose at home, do they? They're just so good at home, but can't win away. I mean, they're a funny club. You know, I don't know what it is.
Obviously, the Liverpool game was postponed, but it's been a good weekend for Liverpool so far. 3, 4. I'm just so far in the scores. I'm just looking because obviously we've got West Ham tonight. So far in the scores, Jimbo, you've got 1 point, which is pretty pony. Mr. Chang has got 4 points, and me and Nick have got 5 points. Nick and I both got. Oh no, Chang and I both got the Ipswich Bournemouth score correct. I actually, like I say, I thought my Chelsea 5, Tottenham 2 was going to come in at 1 point, but obviously not. Everyone still puts all the pressure on City, and Liverpool top of the table still going under the radar. Yeah, it's Liverpool's to lose, in my opinion. Side dancer, good to see you, sir. So instead of the fan base fighting each other, how about we aim the anger at that bald prick sat there counting the pounds? Yeah, I completely agree. What makes me laugh, I'm sorry, I can't get my head around this, and this isn't a dig at anybody, but I can't. The ones that say we need to protest and boycott are still the ones that go to the ground. And I do understand support the team, not the regime.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
No, not all of them. Not all of them. But if you're supporting the team and spending money, in turn, you're supporting the regime. I can't get my head around that. Well, he will fit in then, Jimbo, seeing as people love protecting this manager's shit away record, mate. Oh, he's talking about Eddie Howe, I think. Yeah.
Thomas Frank, because they can't. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, massive. Obviously, I forgot to mention this. I had this down to mention this first. Mikel Antonio will find out in 12 months if he'll ever play football again. From looking at the photos, I'm surprised he's ever going to walk again. I'm surprised he's still alive. This guy, I mean, his car, I've never seen anything like it. But wishing him all the best, all the love, rivalries aside, you know.
He's lucky to be alive, Kate.
Yeah.
If he never plays football again, right, he just said Frankie's lucky stars that he's alive because his car.
Yeah.
When I saw his car, I thought he's got to be dead. You know.
Yeah, I did too. And when they said critical condition, I was constantly looking because I thought there's no way he's going to walk away from this. Like, that's too much. But if he does just walk away, I know it's still awful, but with 2 broken legs, not being able to play football, like you said, he should thank his lucky stars that he's ever able to walk again and he's still here. But yeah, wishing him all the best. Every other team had to play in that weather, so I'm questioning why they got a pass. Because Everton's ground flooded. I don't know if you saw it, but it literally flooded. It was horrendous. They could never have played there.
They could have played water football.
Yeah. Brentford are only 3
That's
points
called
ahead.
water polo.
Yeah, water polo, which surprised me, Kate. I thought they were way above us. Yeah, see, it's not all bad, Ellie. I stand by my decision to go full Daigle if we sack Ange. The one single player is vital to their play, makes a big difference, and that's Rodri. Yeah, I think there's everything about that club and about that system is built around Rodri, and when he's not there, wow, can't you see the difference? To hurt Levy the most is to stop going to the games. Yeah, that's my point. I can't get my head around it. But how long did you say? 12 months. He's 34. Had it in his equal time. You did say that, Jim. Maybe it's time he retires.
Yeah, he's maybe. I mean, he's had a good career in the sense of he's been good for West Ham. Maybe it's time. Maybe you're right, Daniel. Maybe it's time for him to call an end to his career. But the main thing is that he gets better, and you know, he's alive. That's all you can be thankful for. I don't know if you've seen his car, Daniel, but oh my God, I don't know how they've got him out of that car.
No. El Dante, big up to you. Bye, Mark and Lisa. Thank you both for coming in and enjoy your day. I also subbed to that guy who's trying to start the protest. Yeah, Johnny Bethnal Green, save our Spurs. Please do sub to him. He's a good guy. And yeah, he's going to start some sort of movement as well. I was trying. There's the car. I don't know if anyone hasn't seen it, but that was his car. I mean, it is horrendous, and it puts everything into perspective when we sit here arguing, name calling. Yeah, it puts everything into perspective. Yeah, the news is that it's okay, but it's going to be 12 months of physio before they can even establish if he'd ever be able to play football again. But yes, Jimbo, I saw the car. Apparently, it took firefighters 45 minutes to get him out of the car. Wow. He was driving like an idiot in a 30-mile-an-hour street. Footballers think they're good that could kill people. I agree, Ben, but you know, at the end of the day,
I said he had to be driving faster than the speed limit because of the state of the car. If you hit your car at 30 miles an hour.
No, well, he's got 2 broken legs, Angus. So not at the minute, but he's going to have physiotherapy. So I would think it's going to take a long time. I don't understand anyone going to the stadium. If I charged you £100 for a Christmas dinner, then served you up microwave meal, would you come again next year? That's what Levy's doing. This is the thing, and this is what my argument will always be.
Look, at the end of the day, Kate, at the end of the day, right, it's each to their own, right? If they want to go to the games and they want Levy out, they can do that. It's down to them. It's not down to us to predict what they do and how they want to spend their money. You know, it's just like let everyone do it their own way.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. I'm not digging anyone out. I'm just saying I personally don't get it, but it's fine. It's up, live and let live. That's what I say. It's the same, and half of them people are the same ones that criticise people like me and you for buying shirts. Just saying. And Fulham won, Arsenal won. Arsenal failing to get 3 points at Fulham, Chang, proves that Fulham are definitely not a walkover.
No, they are not. But if you look at the game itself, I mean, yes, I think the Saka's supposed late winner was ruled off by VSI, rightly ruled off. But I have to bring up a player for Woolwich, and that's William Saliba. William Saliba scoring from corners is some sort of cheat code that somehow managed to unlock. The number of headers from corners that this guy is scoring is just unbelievable. He's got to be like leading scorer from corners is Saliba. And I mean, but then again, this comes back to how you shouldn't be, looking down on your rivals. I mean, just only last weekend, we were being, talked off. We had our ears talked off for not capitalizing on that lead against Fulham. How we drew that game 1-0. Well, guess what? Someone else from North London drew against Fulham 1-0 themselves. So this is going to be a very, very open season. I can't see this season really conforming to any scripts. But yeah, this is exactly what the neutrals are hoping for, a very open season where anything can happen. And for Woolwich, I don't think they can take anything for granted, because the moment they slip up, Chelsea are right on their tails, and surprise, surprise, Chelsea are now in second. So say what you want, I think Arteta might have just overstayed his welcome. If via regular AFTV YouTubers start banding together and try and drive him out, that may very well happen. But yeah, it's going to be a long season for Arsenal as the season progresses.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Look, the thing is, Kay, I did Arsenal to lose 2-1 against Fulham, and I didn't do that because I didn't do that because I wanted Arsenal to lose. I did that because I watched Fulham against Spurs, and they're a decent team, and I thought Arsenal were going to go to Fulham, and I normally predict Arsenal to win, right? I thought that they would lose that game at Fulham. Fulham are a hard team to beat at home, and they're a decent outfit. They're tough guys as well. They get stuck in. They fight for each other, and I really thought they'd lose that game. So it didn't surprise me at all. There was 1-1. But look, as I said before, this is a hard league. To win a game in this league, you've got to turn up. It's as simple as that.
I agree with this as well. Look, it's no point saying he's a moron. He's paid the massive price, whether he drove over the limit, whether he didn't, whether his tyre blew, whether it didn't. This guy is laying in a critical condition in hospital. Let's just wish him better. It might not be right what he's done, but that's how I think anyway. I think Gabriel scored more. Yes, he has. Romero should be capable of doing that for us. Our corners are dreadful. When you watch Arsenal's corners, they're sublime. Saka and Rice turn it in to the point where it looks like it's going to go in the goal. They literally put it on a plate for their defenders. Their set piece taking is unbelievable. As far as the last goal from Saka, was Martinelli crossed the ball. Saka was in the box, not offside. They said it was Martinelli. Yeah, that's what I said at the start of the show. The Liverpool are the real winners without even playing. Jess, thank you. Smash the likes. I am doing another mental health stream on Wednesday, Jess, or we are, if you would like to come on or in. Unfortunately, it's the last one I can do because, hang on, next week, Tuesday, I'm at a concert next week. So Wednesday's going to be out. And then the week after is Christmas week. So, yeah, it is the last week I can do one until after Christmas. And I wanted to do a check-in. So Wednesday at 12 will be a mental health show. And then Thursday, I'll probably do a members show chatting about the Rangers game. So before we do our Premier League preview on Friday. But, yeah, their set-piece coach. Oh, I'd love to sign him because people are criticising Arsenal for being set-piece FC, but who cares? I'd love to be able to score the set pieces they score. They're unbelievable. But
it's part of the game, Kate. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the more goals you score from set pieces, the better. It's part of the game.
Exactly. Good, lovely. Glad to hear it, Jess. Arsenal play corners like a down in American football. Yes, they do. Gundogan, a slow walker, has aged, and you can see he's not the same. Then there's De Bruyne. Yes, he can still offer, but not for 90 minutes very often. So City have lost some gumption. Yeah, I agree with that. Set pieces are a fundamental part of football. You should be treating them seriously. Yeah, exactly. They're just, there's no one in the Premier League to touch them on set pieces. I'm in so much pain. I think unless anyone's got anything else they want to touch on, I think that's it. Chang, anything you wanted to talk about before we go?
Maybe the United and Forest game. Did we touch on that? I'm not going to go too much into it, although I will just say this. And I will say this directed at some of the Spurs fans. One big inch out. If you are the same set of Spurs fans that drove Nuno out when we had the likes of Ndombele, Ali, Aurier, or whoever it is you thought was the downfall of the beginning. It was just only the beginning of Don Paratici's reign, and somehow we got Nuno out even before he could start. And look at Forest now. Look at where they are now in the table compared to us. Although I know we are only 5 points off them, but I'm sure a few of you will be wishing you are where he is now. And for Amarim, I'm just going to touch very just so slightly on Amarim. I think he's got a lot of work to undo the damage that Ten Hag has done over there. And if you had, there's one particular moment in that game against Forest, Onana for United. The number of times he's had to retake that free kick, the free kick in his own half when he tried to play the ball long into the opposition penalty box. That was just so funny to watch. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. The amount of times the referee kept pushing him back. I mean, he must have wasted a good 30 or 40 seconds just by having to retake that free kick. So yeah, be thankful we have Vicario and not Onana. Be thankful that we have Foster, although yeah, it was tough for him to have considered Foster today. But when we were still leading 2-1, I was thinking to myself, even if we do get a draw against Chelsea yesterday, even if we didn't get a win, Foster was easily my man of the match just by keeping Chelsea at bay when we were 2-1 or even 2-0 up. He was just, I mean, this is where I got to hold my hand up and admit I'm wrong. At the beginning, when we found out that Vicario was going to be, on the sidelines for a good long while because of his surgery, I was thinking, let's get a better second choice goalkeeper now. Let's get someone in to replace Foster in January. Right now, I don't think I want anyone else other than Foster as our backup goalkeeper. So always be thankful for what we have. Yes, I know the grass is always greener on the other side, but you know what? I have had a horrendous last 12 months. This channel here, Mr. and Mrs. Boxer here, are the best possible thing that could have happened to me on YouTube. So I couldn't have hoped for a better channel to be a regular on. And here's to the next 12 months, everybody. Keep the faith in Ange and come on, you Spurs.
Yes, well said. Thank you very much, Chang. Thank you, Lubed by Levy. I like the name. Look, this is exactly what we wanted it to be. This is a fan channel. We don't do really in-depth analysis. We don't have screaming matches. It's not what we're here for. A lot of people don't like that. They think we're pink and fluffy, but I'm quite comfortable being pink and fluffy. We just want people to come in here. Feel free to say their opinions, as long as it's not in an aggressive or nasty way. We will always listen to all sides and consider everything that gets said. So I'm glad that you feel welcome, and you will be welcome as long as you want to come in. That's why we have a lot of rival fans coming in. You see,
there's enough hate in the world, and
we don't need any more.
We don't want any in there.
You see, Amarim's come to Man United thinking it'd be easy, but against a lot of experience in a manager, Amarim has a lot to learn. Otherwise, the Man U fans will be no different to the Spurs fans. Yeah. Big up, Mr. Chang. Definitely. So many Arsenal fans now calling for Arteta's head. Yep. Definitely the best channel. Thank you, Fiona. Every time I see your cat, it makes me go, oh. I'm done with blind faith now. I need results, says Benji. Leo says the perfect home is. And Jordan LFC says, hi, Chang. Hi, Jordan, as well.
Can I answer Ben there? Ben, look, at the end of the day, well, I know you want Ange out, but if he doesn't get the results, he'll be gone. So you'll get your wish. But that's what we all want. We all want results, and if he doesn't get them, he'll be gone, and then there'll be...
But then you're no guarantee you're going to get results.
Look, I just think the Tottenham job at the minute is just a hard job, with Levy behind it all, with the players we've got. I rate some of the players we've got, like Basuma. He can play a game where he's unplayable, then he can play a game where he gives the ball away every time he gets it, and then does stupid tackles and give penalties away. I don't know. Maybe they do need another manager that can knock them into shape and get them, you know, get their heads right.
I'm not honestly completely convinced that Ange is the right man for the job. But what I'm saying is I don't think sacking him before the end of the season is in the best interest of the club because A, I think he's a better option than Mason, and B, I don't want it to be a rush job. I want a proper plan in place of who they're going to bring in. And not many teams are going to quit not many managers are going to quit halfway through a season, particularly managers like Thomas Frank, who's doing well at Brentford. As you know, Kate, I'm an Arsenal fan. However, I like this channel because it's nice to exchange views. That's what we want to do. Like I say, we will always take everyone's views on board. We love you too, Benji. Ellie says Arsenal are annoying at set pieces, but bloody effective as their movement and shithousery is all for there to copy. Yep, completely agree. Credit where it's due.
The thing is, okay, if they sack Ange tomorrow and they've got a plan in place, right? I'm fine. Me personally, I'm fine with that. But don't sack him on the spur of the moment and not have a plan in place.
Yeah. Ben, I assume you've dealt with Yid Army because we don't want any of that crap in there. Was you going to say something there, Chang? Sorry.
I have nothing to say. Actually, I was about to point out to the Yid Army, the Yid Army entry by Mr. Kaufman, the one that you just skipped over.
That one. Yeah, look, just ban them. Don't want any tosspots in here. And we all know who it is, Benji, so just get rid. Take the trash out, as they say. Daniel says, Kate, though, if we got the new manager bounce in time for the quarterfinal against United right now with Ange and this current nosedive, I can't see us winning that game no matter how crap United are. But Amorim, they're not doing great either. Look, let's just wait and see. At the end of the day, we can all scream, we can all shout, we can all argue with each other. It's nothing's going to make any difference. They're going to do what they're going to do. So I prefer to focus on what I can change and what I'm in control of, such as getting ready for Christmas.
Well, look, Daniel, all I'll say there is we've beat Man United 3-0 once already. Ange's tactics, they can work, all right? If we're on it, we saw that against City, you know, they can work. So with a one-off game in a cup game, I don't know if is it one or two legs, that one, but it can work.
It's one, isn't it one leg?
I don't know. I can't remember if it's. I think they changed it to one, didn't they? But
yeah,
look,
yeah.
Well, we can beat any team on any day, you know. But going forward, I don't know what the answer is. I'm actually, Daniel, quite lost with it at the minute.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure Ange has a plan. Our football under him looks chaotic. The thing is with me, I kind of like chaos. That's probably why I'm quite chilled about it.
Well, look, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying about Ange. I'm saying if Levy's going to sack Ange, have a plan in place, not do it without, like he's done it before. He sacked whoever it was, I can't remember, and brought Nuno in, and I don't think it was really thought about. You know, have a plan in place if he's going to sack Ange. Don't just do it and put Mason in charge and just leave us with Mason till the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a one-off game. And do you know what? In a one-off game, anything can happen. Let's be fair. You never know. We might get a Christmas miracle. But I have done a redirection for Ben, who's streaming in about 10 minutes' time over at the coffee company. So if you fancy chilling out for the afternoon, not talking about football, then head over there. We are not here tomorrow because we've got to go out, but we're back Wednesday for our mental health stream. Won't be anything to do with football. It will just be talking about, just a check-in really, a chilled stream if people want to come on. Like we did it a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to know what it was like, have a watch back. And then Thursday, member show before we're back Friday for the Premier League preview. Oh, and Thursday night, we'll be doing the pre-match pump-up for the Rangers game. Which is going to be, I'm already a little bit scared about that game. But Leo says, we think the team will show up together for a cup game. They've got a better chance at winning the cup than the league. Surely that plays into the mindset of these spoiled players. I would like to think, Leo, I mean, Chang Surely these players know that if they were to win a cup after us waiting this long for a cup, they would be heroes if they win a cup. Surely they know that.
The thing is, right now, I mean, this might be a discussion for another day, especially maybe leading up to one of these cup games, crucial cup games. But a lot of things actually, I mean, a lot of things are still very much in the balance. And yesterday, if anything, I would say this about yesterday: the performance, especially in the first maybe quarter or maybe first half yesterday. That first half yesterday gave me optimism, cause for optimism that I've not felt since maybe our win against City. And when you saw everyone in full flow pulling together, we can score and we can get these results against the so-called better teams, especially where they are right now with their project or their growth. But yeah, I mean, this is only going to happen if all of us, and I really do mean all of us, the fans, the management, the coaching staff, even the players themselves, if all of us pull together in the same direction. I mean, Mr. Boxer himself here said it last weekend. If the fans at the stadium, they are the 12th man, the 13th man, if they just sing their hearts out, really give their all back the players, anything can happen. And I honestly feel that cup games is the way to go about it. Maybe one too many cup games might be too much of an ask, but we are still very much in all the competitions, aren't we? So let's just pick our battles wisely. We can't win them all, so why not win that which is most important to us right now? And that's the knockout games, the knockout cup games. Who knows? We might still end up with a trophy come the end of the season. It's not written in stone that we won't win, but stranger things have happened. Well, and as always, you were saying, Mr. Boxer.
The thing is, they can't win the league, right? So if they want to get silverware, they've got to put themselves out in the cup games and go all out, and get their heads together and play well, because they're not winning the league, that's for sure. So
I do believe you've only got to look back at the history of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and see giant killings. Anything can happen on one-off games. So we've just got to get behind, whether Ange is here or Ange is not, we've got to get behind them and try and get that trophy, because we're all longing for that. And that's where a lot of this hatred and anger comes from with Spurs fans. We are literally so starved of success. But if it's meant to be, honestly, it will be. That's how I feel about everything. So whatever happens will happen. But Jim, I'm going to let you end the show, and as only you can.
Well, look, if you're Ange in or Ange out, it doesn't really matter. Ange is our manager. So we have to get behind him and the boys. We've got a massive game Thursday. Let's be the 12th man and get behind them. We love this club. You might not love Ange, you might not love Levy, but they're there. So let's get behind our club and support them. Thursday's massive. We need to go up to Rangers and we need to batter them. Right? I've got my score in my head, and it ain't us losing. Come on, you fucking Spurs.
Giving opinions with no regret, smashing the top bins like in the Onion net. Talking the talk with Kate and Jim, and walking the walk, just listen in. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim are gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mix and transfer news, it's what you're after. The perfect match, you just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, you just got to latch onto that perfect match. Jimbo always keeps a positive spin, while Kate's Mickey has a name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like Lenny stop robbing, or she's just flip-flopping. Hell, this place is popping. The perfect match, you just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, you just got to latch onto that perfect match.